Who would have thought just, 10 weeks ago that the New England Patriots would be a team that would be in a conversation of, holy shit, this team is all of a sudden hotter than everybody else. And who would have thought in the year 2021, with the way NFL offenses go and NFL rules are, that we would have taken it back to 1945 Navy Citadel in Bill Belichick's eyes in words. Last night was so ridiculous. You had to watch because it was a comedy of errors. Waking up in the morning as a punter and seeing those flags do what those flags were doing would be an absolute nightmare, and it's an anxiety that I no longer have to have, and I am very, very thankful for that. Now, Lucas Oil Stadium would have been closed for that one, so it would have been absolutely beautiful. And there is a conversation to be had about maybe we put a dome over every fucking stadium.
Can't do it.
Yeah, go to Chicago, put it down. Go to Lambeau, put it down. There's a conversation to be had. I'm not going to be a part of it. 70 and sunny every single day. Who's the best team? Let's find out. Let's not let Mother Nature figure it out. Maybe that is a part of the game, though. And maybe those types of matchups and outside adversities and those hurdles to get over is all a part of football. So although as a punter and kicker enthusiast, fan, and used to be one, having a dome would be much better for our jobs, I do believe you get a chance to showcase your big-ass brain whenever a situation like last night occurs. 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds, 25-mile-an-hour winds, gusting from one end zone straight down to the other. So punters had to punt directly into it. Kickers had to kick directly into it or completely with it. Tyler Big Ball Bass hit a kickoff 200 yards.
Yeah.
Then Jake Bailey, one of the biggest legs in football, wearing Fur the brand cleats. I appreciate you for doing that, Jake. Very, very nice of you for your cleats, your cause to do that. He hit 20 yards. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how he did that, by the way. I have no idea how he was able to even do that. Before, as I would have been jogging out onto that field to punt those first couple for the Patriots, I would have been like, my career's over.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I am hitting a ball out of bounds right now. It's going to go 5 yards. They're going to score a touchdown. Guess whose fault it's going to be? Oh, it's the punter's fault. And everybody will say, yeah, we get it. There's 30-mile-an-hour winds, but fucking do your job.
That's right.
So there's that entire thing. Jake Bailey comes back, hits a 71-yarder the other direction. It was just a night that we had no idea what to expect other than Bill Belichick was probably going to end up winning that type of game. That feels like a situation where Bill Belichick was even telling everybody before the game what type of game this is going to be. Hey, we're running fucking power eye. Mm-hmm. We are running the ball. We're running the triple option. We are taking this thing old school. Mac Jones throws the ball 3 times in the entire game. Everybody's up in arms because now Mac Jones doesn't deserve credit for the win. Sure. Mac Jones isn't as good as everybody says he is. Whenever we're talking about offensive rookie of the year, Mac Jones better not be in the conversation because they won against the Buffalo Bills, one of the best teams in the AFC, without even using the motherfuckers, what everybody will say.
Hell yeah.
And I think that is absolute bullshit because that is a game that shouldn't count for either team. None of the stats should matter. That was a game that you had to throw out and you had to show up and win however the fuck you can win. And if you can beat somebody just running the ball right down their goddamn throats, which is what has been happening, by the way, to the Buffalo Bills 2 out of the last 3 weeks or whatever. If you think about Jonathan Taylor, 5 touchdowns just a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. If you can beat him doing that and you don't have to have the risk of 30 miles, why in the fuck would Mac Jones, Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick, anybody on that offense do anything differently? They got to win. That is the only thing that matters. Now, Mac Jones' yards and stats are going to be, suffer because of this.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of us who got him at like plus 1,400 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year aren't necessarily thrilled that he's going to miss out on a game where he could have made leaps and bounds in a statistical category that he will need to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. But in other words, who cares? He did exactly what he had to do. He did everything that everybody in New England does. He did his job. He handed it off. They won a game that they're going to have to, Buffalo's going to have to figure out how to stop that, especially going forward. With the AFC, now that we know New England's able to do it, we thought for a little bit Baltimore was able to do it. We know now that the Indianapolis Colts are able to do it, so Buffalo's going to have to figure that out. That's going to have to be on them. Now, I don't necessarily think that reporters should be talking to Poyer and Micah Hyde like, hey, yins are soft. Why? I don't know if that is how everything should go, but they're going to have to figure out everything going on in Buffalo. To tell us a little bit more about how they feel, obviously noted Patriots super fan, Mac Jones fan.
Oh, yeah.
Only 3 passes last night. They still won. Couldn't you do his job? Whoa. That's what everybody is saying. And I don't understand how you can just say, okay, there is a Bildo tornado going on. All right? It is. This game is just completely different than everybody else. Although Josh Allen threw 30 times, it wasn't with much success. I think there's unwanted hate coming at Mac Jones, and that's strictly because he is a Patriot.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Bills fans because this was supposed to be a goddamn year. Yeah. And I was excited to see Bills Mafia go.
Yeah, not being able to run the ball or stop the run when you're the Buffalo Bills playing in Buffalo is a wild decision for that team.
Josh Allen may be the best runner-up there.
Well, yeah. Why didn't they
do that more?
Yeah, why didn't they run him more?
He didn't hit his over, by the way. 39, he was at 40.
Yeah, he had one massive.
A lot of heartbreak from a lot of people for that.
No one hit their overs.
Well, and Josh Burrito he fumbled almost right out of the gate. Like, he wasn't there. He hasn't been there. I mean, I think he's been in Buffalo for like 2 weeks now. Like, they're just picking up guys, and and I know Peyton said on the Manning cast, like, at one point, it was, like a 4th and 5 or something, or 3rd and 5 for Buffalo. And he was like, they want to go to the sticks, but this is the point where like Josh has got to go deep. And I think with like last night, like there was no way he wasn't going to be able to complete any of those passes. Even Dawson Knox, like you could see, I mean, he had 3-4 drops. You could see how much the ball was moving and like how tough it was for those guys. And obviously, that played right into the Patriots' hands, and Buffalo would have wanted to throw it 50 times.
In this office, as the weather was continuing on, I guess Bill Belichick and them knew, and I assume the Bills knew the night before it was going to be like that, because Bill Belichick actually joked amongst friends the night before the game. He said, we actually joked about how, we can use all of our passing game the next time we play, December 26th. We're not even going to have to use it. That's what they laughed about. Yeah. Mike Rice reports that the question via Greg Hill, shout out to Greg Hill Show with a great question. Due to the weather, will you be able to take anything from the game into December 26th against the Bills? Bill Belichick laughs. We were talking about that last night. We can use our whole passing game at all the pass plays we have. They haven't even seen them. Look at that.
Genius.
Genius. Did he say that after the game?
So the Greg Hill, I think it was this morning, yeah.
I wonder how long in advance they knew what this game was going to be. Did they know Saturday night what was going to happen? We all found out kind of middle of the day yesterday. Did they know Sunday? We found out kind of middle of the day yesterday. And in this office, we all thought, oh, this plays into the Patriots' hands.
Oh, yeah.
We thought, oh, this is good for the Patriots. This is not good for the Bills. And the line moved the other way. The line moved towards the Bills, like it helping out the Bills a little bit. And I was like, what are we seeing that everybody else isn't? Because I thought it was immediately going to go the other way. Like I thought New England was going to get more, points or whatever whenever the weather continued to get worse, because I think we just have so much faith in Bill Belichick in the run game as opposed to what the Bills were able to do. I wonder why it did that. Do we know?
Sunday, I know it was reported that the winds were going to be really bad. I don't know if they knew that the gusts were going to be up to 50, but is the thought with Josh Allen, because it was so windy and he is one of the strongest arms in the NFL, that they could probably pass the ball more?
Oh, because Mac Jones got a little noodle arm.
Sure. I mean, he definitely doesn't have a Josh Allen
Isn't that
arm.
what people are
No way.
Wouldn't that be? Mac Jones is being attacked.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It's
a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie, and we're the 1 seed in the AFC. And to your point about him being Rookie of the Year from earlier, if we win 12 games and have home field advantage, and he's the quarterback of that team, I feel like you can't not give it to him.
McDermott said, let's not fucking give too much credit to Bill Belichick here, okay? We fumbled. We turned the ball over on the 30. We had this. We had that. This is not Bill Belichick winning this goddamn game, okay? This is us beating ourselves and not winning. And maybe that's a valid point. Maybe that's a fair point. They were very close to winning, but it just feels like Bill, this is what happened. This is Bill. This is just how it goes.
Yeah. And that's what people are saying today. Like, this is going to be one of those games you talk about when you look back on Belichick's career, how he can win so many different ways. He's a master, all that. But I think largely what he does is he forces other teams to make mistakes. He's like, hey, we're not going to beat ourselves. We know eventually you probably will beat yourselves. I have a good feeling that we're going to come out on the winning end more likely than not when we actually play what we do, and we just force you to make mistakes, and we're going to be patient.
It's incredibly high football IQ, right? And discipline, and everybody understanding what their role is. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Mac Jones literally just, sits down in the huddle. Mm-hmm. Same fucking thing. Here we go, right? All right.
Just kidding.
All right. Same fucking thing on two. Ready? All right. Just the ability to do that, though, I think is something in of itself. This is just like Tom Brady allowing Bill Belichick to coach him as hard as he did for 20 years in New England, because that showcases to everybody, like, hey, if Tom Brady can get it, you can get it. Third-year guy who might be playing well right now and might be feeling yourself and maybe up for a new contract. If Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, is getting chewed out, you can get it as well. And that was always talked about, like, hey, Bill Belichick coaches everybody the exact same. Well, Tom Brady allowed that to happen for a long time. Tom Brady didn't say, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. Whenever he was talking to Peyton Manning, where Peyton Manning was actually doing that to people in meetings as opposed to being on the other end of it, Tom Brady allowed that to be something. And I think that's a trait that not everybody has, which is one that doesn't get talked about with Tom Brady nearly enough. Mac Jones just being like, yep, we're fucking running the ball every single time, not having any ego, not saying anything about it, just like, hey, the team did this whole thing. I mean, that just like, it goes into it even more. You know, like, because they're trying to bury Mac Jones right now for what he did last night, and it's like, what do you want?
Who is they?
You know who.
Well, I mean, bury him just to say, like, hey, they're not burying him. Aren't they burying people that keep propping him up? They're saying, like, oh, he won a game and he only threw the ball 3 times.
No, they're burying him.
If so, facto, right?
But what could have should he have changed the call at the line of scrimmage? What are you talking about?
Well, and I guess he did on that one, everybody. Well, that was the, at least, assessment by the internet and television that he threw at the Jonnu Smith, which, by the way, might not have been inaudible, but we have no idea. I don't know what he was supposed to do. This is just like when people were burying Jimmy G.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship game, he threw it like 8 times, I think, maybe 9 times, 8 times, and he ran for 185 yards before contact. And they're like, Jimmy G is so bad. It's like, what are we even doing? Like, why are we?
Well, I'm sure there's other quarterbacks out there that are like, man, I wish I could throw the ball only 3 times and we would still win the game. Like, anyone would love to have that, and it's not Mac Jones' fault. What are you talking? Like, he's running what the coaches tell him to run.
Yeah, well, Mac Jones is a rookie.
If he would have went 2 for 26, then you could blame Mac Jones.
So Josh Allen, one of the most talented ball throwers we have, right? I think we all agree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's very good ball tosser.
Yeah.
He went 15 of 30 last night for 145 yards. Okay, 39 rush yards. He had 15 incompletions. Now, that's a very negative way to look at this thing, but honestly, Josh Allen is a very efficient passer of the ball. It was impossible to throw the rock last night. Bill Belichick knew that. McDaniels knew that. It's a rookie quarterback. I just don't like the Mac's getting buried for this. And now, if what Peyton said about Mac Jones is true, Mac has no clue about anything going on in the world. Allegedly, he told Peyton he doesn't check his phone in the middle of the week, so he didn't text Peyton back until like Saturday or something like that. And then he wouldn't give Mac. He told Peyton he had to go through the PR department to talk to him. Mac Jones is the only quarterback this year that hasn't allowed Peyton Manning to have a conversation with him, although it seemed like there was a text or two that was exchanged. This guy seems like the perfect Patriot at this point.
Yeah, and he also said after the game when they asked him, like, do you have a problem with only throwing it, 3 times a game? He says, I don't care if we throw it, every play. I don't care if we run it every play. As long as we score more points than the other team and we win the goddamn game, that's the only thing that matters. So.
He seems so super chill, too, when he's talking. 2 years ago, man, I was playing scout team for my 4th straight year. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't matter.
I do not give a...
It feels like Mac Jones was groomed from a young age to be the next Patriots quarterback.
It really does. And then Saban obviously is what Bill and Saban are like tight friends, and they run a similar ship. And then, he's there literally for 5 years, 4 years as practice squad guy. So he's eating the Alabama culture longer than anybody else, watching the amount of film